So our first drawing from Mr. Herring is a lovely image of a dog. It's part of his iconography, so that is like a visual language, iconography. He would use dogs to symbolize like authoritarianism, power, specifically abuses of power. I don't think that that's what I see in this picture because I have a different relationship with dogs. So I would say that, just because an artist has like a stated iconography, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to buy it. So let's put 1 minute on the clock and see what we can do. My first step is going to be to determine the height-width relationship. I already showed you that you can rotate your page. I am just choosing to shrink it down. I'll put my dog in here. I think that I'll switch over to this quote-unquote non-photo blue, and I think I'll say that I see maybe the letter M off of maybe a slightly diagonal line. Then we have this horizontal line. Then we have this vertical. There's a 90-degree angle in there. We have another horizontal. We have a roughly vertical line that goes to the bottom of the page. Horizontal, vertical. It's almost like an upside down V, I would say. The dog paws look more like teeth than they do like paws. Again, this isn't the time to make a perfect drawing. This is the time to figure out where your sticking points on the drawing are going to be. You'll notice that I didn't use like a super thick line. I have just enough time to trace over it. I'm actually going over my time. I apologize. I am now at the minute, probably 20 mark. There we go. So, minute 20 seconds in, I'll take it. That was pretty good. Our next image may be familiar to you. You may remember it from the earlier evaluation of artist work. It's a stick figure. It has wobbly lines that go through the body, and that is kind of on his riff of like the atomic age. So he made work at a time when people were very worried about the potential of nuclear war. And part of his iconography, so his visual language, was that holes in the body were kind of like. So we have a lovely drawing here from Mr. Herring. It's one of his modified stick figures, I'd call it. And this draws on his nuclear age iconography. So Keith Haring's work was very responsive to the topic of the day. And one of the topics was the Cold War. And that Cold War was like fueled by the fear of nuclear war. Anytime you see an image that Mr. Herring has drawn with a part of the body like removed, he would put a hole in the body. That is his way of, describing his fear of, atomic war. So, with a minute to go, what I'm going to do is I am going to start with a stick figure, and I also see like a letter S. This almost looks like, and I'm going to do it over here, almost looks like a dollar sign. There is, and maybe that's something he's going for. Maybe that's unintentional. But regardless, we can use it in our practice. Anytime you can use something you already know in a drawing, it's a good thing. So we start with a circle, and I'm going to start with the simplest shapes I can. And then we will, maybe from the center of the circle, we'll figure out where that little, I like that house shape that is formed by the interior of his legs. I would never want to overdraw, so maybe I'll shorten up my page. Maybe this is the actual amount of workspace I need. Maybe this isn't real. And then what I'm going to do is I'm noticing that the dollar sign goes out. It seems to cross just beneath, so this is a height measurement. And then once again, right here is another height measurement. So with those measurements, we really just have to add, and maybe this is a good time to tell you, a C-curve. Remember that the three types of lines artists use are the straight, the C-curve, and the S. So this could be an S-curve if you're good enough. I don't think I am. So I'm going to treat it as some straights and some S-curves. There we go. So with this, like, I guess we'll call this the skeleton, the armature, I can continue and draw. Clean it up with a little bit of black marker. If I don't like where the line was originally placed, I'm going to make that change. Artists always, they're continually evaluating. So if there's something that you don't like as an artist, you can change it pretty much right up until you sell the work. After you sell the work, you lose your chance to change it. So hopefully you found like a good place. There we go, drawing 2. Wonderfully done.